The Virtual Boys have been playing Nintendo since they were little. These many years of experience have made them experts in the field, or at least they think so. Join them this week as they talk about the Game Awards nominees and a bunch of games. You're listening to the Virtual Boys Podcast, a Nintendo podcast about Nintendo things by Nintensity. This podcast is done by four friends that talk about anything and everything Nintendo. Check out the website at nintensity.com and be sure to follow us on social media. Be sure to subscribe and share the show with your friends. Oh, of course, enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Boys Podcast, a Nintendo podcast about Nintendo things. This is episode 77, and welcome to the Virtual Boys Game Awards deliberation. I'm your host, David. Get the horse over here now. And we've got James.
I love money.
And Skylar.
I don't know why people think I look like Bowser.
And Jordan.
I'd like to thank the Academy and myself.
Only the important people.
Yeah, that's all that really matters, you know? You don't need to thank your staff or anything, just yourself.
Just the Academy and you.
I was the one who hired them. So they should be thanking me.
For giving them jobs.
It's your 2-year business degree versus the people who spend their entire lives programming.
Yeah. Those are the ones that sit in their basements trying to figure out how to make certain things. Anyway, it's Game of the Year and Game Awards season, and we're going to be discussing some of the different categories that you can vote on. The Game Awards will be broadcast December 7th, I believe. So we got plenty of time to talk about them, and you can then go vote. But before we start, I just want to remind you to check out our Patreon page. These episodes are going up early as a reward for those that support us. And you can check that out at patreon.com/Nintensity. And if you want to talk about this episode with us, come check out our Discord community at nintend.city/discord. Let's jump into the Game Awards discussion. Now, before I say anything and we move on to any of the categories, Nintendo has over 20 nominations alone. That's pretty darn incredible, don't you guys think?
Is that 20 separate games?
I think 20 different nominations all across. Yeah.
It's all Zelda, Mario.
And the petty category that only Nintendo can compete in.
Yeah, 3DS one.
Yeah, the best handheld game. Well, let's talk about one of the first categories. We're only going to be talking about categories that Nintendo's been nominated for, unless we're going through here and all of a sudden it's like, well, why aren't we talking about this category? There might be some discussion there. But let's start with Best Game Direction. The nominees for this category are The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Wolfenstein 2, Resident Evil 7, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Wait, we skipped the big one, the Game of the Year.
Well, we're going to do that at the end. That's something more fun to do. It's a build-up.
Good explanation.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest problem for me with this is that I haven't played most of these games.
Yeah, same.
I played Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey. Wolfenstein looks cool. I played the beginning of Horizon Zero Dawn and thought it was a garbage game. I don't know why people like it.
Really? Oh,
yeah, I thought it was terrible.
Honestly, it's actually a game I really want to try. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so slow in the beginning. It's so bad. I hate the characters. Everything about it is stupid. The whole world just seems like it's not well thought out. I only played, I don't know, an hour though, so maybe it gets better after that first hour. I don't understand where the hype came from. Maybe because people wanted to force a rivalry between Breath of the Wild and something.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's overhyped.
Maybe.
I haven't played any of these other than the two Nintendo games. I mean, I've read a lot about Horizon Zero Dawn and Wolfenstein 2. The Wolfenstein 2 ad campaign has been pretty fun to follow.
We're true Nintendo fans at heart, and by that I mean fanboys. Because we clearly haven't played anything outside the Nintendo category. We'll play Wolfenstein when it comes out on Switch. Yeah, why is this 2018 game on here? I don't understand.
Right, you forget what year it actually came out.
Wait, there's a Resident Evil 7? Whoa!
I'm only worried about
It's a
1 and 2
sham.
and 3 that are coming to Switch.
I thought Revelations was the one that just came out.
What were you saying, Skylar?
Nah, man, Wolfenstein's a next year game for sure.
Yeah. Get out of here. It goes to the next year's Game of the Year Awards.
They forgot the Switch version of Skyrim.
So I think
the
that
game that wins.
with most of these categories, yeah, we're going to run into the fact that well, we haven't played all of them, and I think that's. I mean, honestly, very few people own all these systems. I mean, if you do and you play all the games, wow, good job. Like you are a true connoisseur of gaming.
I think that's my biggest problem with the voting system in general, where they're like, everyone can vote for what game you think deserves it.
Yeah.
No one's played all these. The only people who have played all these should be people that are actually capable of voting.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like the review sites. And that's about it.
Yeah.
I guess it's only 10% of the end score, but it's just going to be heavily weighted to the more popular games.
It's
Right.
true. I guess it kind of has more audience interaction with it. I don't know, like, not to say the audience is necessarily experts, but I guess we can to decide what's fun. I don't know.
That's the other thing. The average person in the world's a moron, so I don't have high hopes for this.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, based on the 2 games that we have played, which one did you guys pick or will pick for best game direction?
Between Breath of the Wild and Odyssey.
Yeah.
So most of these are going to come down to which two like more specific things between Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. If you liked Wolfenstein, we'll catch up to you next year.
Yeah, we'll get to that when that comes out. Yeah.
Well, I honestly can see Wolfenstein winning the best game direction just for the story, because
from the trailers. Wow.
So
wow.
just
that was a pretty good trailer.
Just from the the reaction and the reviews of itself, So
Yeah.
I mean, I think you just have to think about, okay, what have I heard about this game? And obviously, it's not necessarily we haven't played all of them, but I think we can kind of take a good guess at what it will be.
I think we should mostly just stick to the ones that we actually have played and just give a giant disclaimer. We have not played all these games, and neither have you. So shut up, dear listener, that we care about a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. But I don't know. Out of the 2 that I have played for giving it the best game direction, I think I gave it to Mario Odyssey. I don't know. I voted a couple of days ago as soon as the voting was available. I should have written down what I chose, because that's making this podcast episode a little bit awkward to talk about. Like, well, what did I actually choose? I don't want to be lying to everybody. But I think that Mario Odyssey has the better game direction than Zelda, if ever so slightly, because of, how do I put this? The way that they integrated all of this old stuff from Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, they integrated that into the new game, but they also just made it, new again. I mean, you could say the same thing for Breath of the Wild, how it reinvented the formula, but I feel like the fact that there are so many little things and tons of different little details jam-packed everywhere into Super Mario Odyssey, rather than just a whole bunch of Korok seeds hidden in basically the same types of puzzles all over the map, I think that Mario Odyssey takes the game direction. Do you guys understand where I'm coming from with that? Or do you have
understand where you're
thoughts?
coming from. I do want to just say, I think that the opening to Breath of the Wild was probably one of the best introductions to what you could do for a Zelda game. It's easily the best introduction to a Zelda game, and I am of the belief that the introduction is the most important part of a video game. It just throws you out. It just expects you to do whatever you want. I think, honestly, Breath of the Wild, in the end, had better direction with where they wanted to go, what they wanted to have done. Mario Odyssey is fun. Mario Odyssey is all over the place, though, too, which is great because that's kind of what you want. But there are some disjointed ideas thrown into the mix, whereas Breath of the Wild is more cohesive from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Disjointed in one way.
Disjointed in that, some moons in specific worlds just don't mesh with the rest of the world. They could have just been thrown into any world in general. or they're just like lying on the floor in a random spot, and then.
I guess so, but Zelda had the same thing with Korok seeds.
Well, sure, but the Korok seeds weren't really meant to be 100%ed. They kind of made fun of you for 100%ing it.
Yeah.
Well, they were there.
If it wasn't meant to be 100%ed, why do they count towards 100% completion?
I think that there's a different weight, though, to the Korok seeds than there is weight to the moons, because you collect moons the entire game, and that's the only way to progress. And so they gave you, 880 of them to find. You purchase the rest of them. But they're like all thrown around with all of these puzzles, all these different things and whatnot. And in Breath of the Wild, they're like, yeah, this game is so huge, we're going to just put in 900 Korok seeds. And in order to get everything that you need out of that, you only need to collect a certain number of them. And so...
Same with the moons.
Well, but you don't get the full extra ending in Mario Odyssey if you don't get all of the moons. In Breath of the Wild, the only thing that you get for 100% completing them is literally a piece of poop. And the game makes fun of you for that. There's no other incentive.
Still 100%.
I mean, yeah, it goes to the 100% number, but I do agree with Jordan in the sense that like all of the moons should share the equal amount of importance because they are what make you progress through the game, through the story, and the Korok seeds are not required.
Well, I don't agree that each moon should have equal importance. There's going to be moons that are going to be more and more difficult.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. And I'm actually kind of going back in my own words thinking about this. I don't think my argument had a whole lot of cohesive sense to it, which ironically I was arguing that Zelda had cohesive direction.
I mean, yeah.
So,
see, the point with the moons is to let anybody be able to beat the game. Some moons are going to be harder than other, but that's just kind of how it was built. In that way, the direction's perfect because you can get 200 moons or 500 moons, and you can still pretty much experience the same thing without getting all 883.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true too. But I do understand there are a few moons that are just placed just right in front of you. And it's like, why did you include these? You could have just lowered the cap on the number of moons required to progress or something like that. Maybe that's...
Yeah, just to help those people get through the game who aren't usual gamers.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
And I will say I was kind of surprised. I was watching a few people play the game and who were really bad at the game. And those kind of moons do help lift their spirits, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody is seasoned veterans like us, So
I have a few friends that this is their first Mario game, and they were like, "Is Mario Odyssey better than Galaxy?" I'm like, well, you probably should still play Galaxy. I think, individually speaking, the best challenges are from Galaxy, but overall, the better game is Odyssey between the two. Anyway,
yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I think I'm going to step back a bit and say I don't know what I was talking about with Breath of the Wild, and I don't exactly know which one is the better game direction between the two.
Yeah. I mean, I did choose... Did I say I chose Odyssey? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I also chose Odyssey for the game direction. I think it's awesome. Zelda's great, has awesome game direction, but I think Mario just a little bit more cohesive of an experience.
That's fair.
How is it more cohesive than Zelda is, though?
There's more like a natural progression from one world to the next world. You're not locked, necessarily to that one world.
But the whole point of Zelda is the free roaming aspect, and you're always you still feel like you're always progressing.
Yeah, both of these games have that explorative feel. Like you go out and you explore and you kind of have fun, do whatever you want. But I feel like there were more variety and more mechanics with Odyssey than Zelda.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from with that. All right. Well, we should probably move on. James, did you have a choice between the two of them?
Yeah. So when I think of game direction, I don't necessarily think of progression. I think of like the actual director and executive producers and everything, like the creative vision and the innovation that the game had. And that's what makes it so hard, because at least with these two, there's so much creativity and innovation put into it. I think if we go back to my last week's episode where we talked about spoiler cast, I think I mentioned how Mario Odyssey was more of a culmination of all the things of past Mario games or 3D Mario games, and putting it together and then adding on top of it the capture mechanic and other things. Whereas with Legend of Zelda, it was a rehaul of everything. So as much as I find Mario Odyssey to be creative, I think if I'm going for innovation and design and direction, I think I'm going to go with Breath of the Wild. Just for the fact that it changed up so much of the Zelda formula, and it brought a very interesting combat style, and a physics engine. There was just, I felt like there was a lot of innovation, and maybe even more in Breath of the Wild than Super Mario Odyssey. Obviously, not to say one is better than the other, or that it's a long shot, but it's very close. But I think I give it to Breath of the Wild.
So we have our thoughts on best game direction. Make sure you go vote, so that your favorite can win. I don't know where I was going with that. That was really, really forced. Ugh.
Do it.
I felt bad saying that. Okay, anyway, the next category that we'll talk about real briefly is Best Art Direction. The nominees are Zelda
Cuphead.
Breath of the Wild.
Cuphead.
And people that are going to lose the Cuphead.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan, I was going to say after I listed all these games, because there's also Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, and Destiny 2.
Why is Horizon on here? I
No.
don't know.
Why is Destiny
But
2?
hang on.
itself into everything.
Why is Destiny
Wait a
2
second.
on here?
I don't know, but I was going to say, Jordan, what was the thing that you said in our Discord chat the other day about this category? You basically
You already said it.
Yeah, basically that everyone that isn't Cuphead is being sent to die.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it's just Cuphead.
yeah,
For sure.
Cuphead is
It's 100%
gorgeous.
Cuphead.
It's beautiful.
They deserve it. No,
Yeah.
no joke.
All that effort of hand drawing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Freak.
Anyway, I think I interrupted David. He probably should say what all the nominations are real quick.
Well, I did. I already did. Like I said it
okay.
afterward. We're good. It was Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, Cuphead, and Destiny 2. There. So Cuphead's gonna win that one. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
no
As much
doubt
as I
about
love
it.
Legend of Zelda's design, and as much as Persona 5 is pretty to look at, Cuphead.
Well, Persona 5's not even just pretty to look at. It's just got so much personality with every piece.
You're
to
right.
It, with
right.
art to it. If Cuphead were not in the running, Persona 5, it would be basically everyone's going to die against Persona 5, because Persona 5 is 2 tiers above everything else nominated here, and then Cuphead's an additional 5 tiers ahead of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry everybody else, but Cuphead's gonna win.
This is the most polarizing just category out of everything. Destiny 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn are probably just there so they have 5 nominations. I don't even know why they were chosen, because Horizon Zero Dawn is ugly at certain points. It is so ugly. The way it approaches Uncanny Valley. I don't understand why people like this game. I'll stop.
You're going to keep reiterating that because it has been nominated a few more times.
Hey, there's some
here,
Nintendo fans who like Horizon Zero Dawn, so you better be careful. We may lose some people.
Let the hate mail
That's
fall in.
fine. People are allowed to have bad opinions.
That's true. That's true. I have to.
All right. So, well then, in the same vein of Best Art Direction, there's also Best Score and Music. The nominees for this one are Breath of the Wild again, Super Mario Odyssey, Persona 5, Cuphead, Destiny 2, and Nier Automata. This is kind of an interesting category. There's some big contenders here, I think. Persona 5 is known for its music, right? Like, isn't that one of the main features of the game?
Persona, yeah.
Yeah, I love Persona 5's music. That is one of the few games on these nominations I've played. I've played Cuphead. I have not played Destiny 2. I would imagine it's got a good... I haven't listened to the score. I'm not going to even talk about Destiny 2 or Nier. I've never even heard of Nier until today.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, man. Nier is... I mean, I haven't played it, but
It's a waifu robot.
It is one that I've heard a lot of good things about and kind of really helped Platinum Games.
As much as I love the music in Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, I don't think either of them come close to Persona 5 or Cuphead. And I think I'm going to have to give it to Cuphead, because not only did Cuphead just go well beyond expectations for art, it definitely like tried its hardest to recapture the music style of that age.
Yeah, I agree.
That animation came
Yeah,
from.
it was solid.
And it's not just the music. The sound design in general is fantastic. Like when the pig at the shop like speaks, welcome, and it's like that super scratchy, exactly how you'd expect that kind of cartoon to sound like.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. It's it's a work of art. And so, sorry, Persona 5, you're a great game, but you just came out in the wrong year.
Which is sad.
Obviously, I haven't played Persona 5. I actually haven't listened to much of the soundtrack of it yet, but I do know that Persona games usually have really good soundtracks. But I have heard Cupheads and obviously Zeldas and Mario's. As much as I love Zelda's soundtrack, it's amazing. I think I give Mario Odyssey the one up on that one. And maybe just because it's so fresh in my mind, but that music is so jamming. And I think I say Cuphead beats or Odyssey beats Cuphead. And I understand that it has the old timey music going on for it, but I think the Odyssey just spoke more to me with adventure and the different themes. Freaking Wooded Kingdom. That I can't get that song out of my head. It's so good.
Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey for me is like amazing. I love the music to that game. I love the transitions between the 8-bit to the more orchestral design like of the levels. Absolutely love it. The sense of adventure it invokes is fantastic. You feel like you're going on a journey from start to finish, and every world's music fits perfectly with it. So it's Super Mario Odyssey got my vote.
I need to show you the Dice Man theme song then to see if it like changes your view.
I mean, I love music. Mario Odyssey's got great music. I love the moments of silence in Odyssey as well as all of the silence in Breath of the Wild. But I don't know. I think Cuphead does have some really great music in it and definitely recaptures that era, which is really fun because I have seen quite a few cartoons from that era. So I think that remembering back to actually casting the votes, I think I gave it to Mario Odyssey kind of for the same reasons as James. It was just so jamming and so fresh on my mind. But I do think Cuphead went above and beyond. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say I've added it basically to my studying music, and I've been listening to Cuphead soundtrack on repeat.
Wow.
A bit. I'm kind of disappointed that Hollow Knight or some other smaller games didn't get on here, but oh well.
Yeah, I guess that's just kind of how it goes because these nominations are sent in by. How do they even come up with these nominations?
It's like 30 reviewers send their highest reviewed games.
Well, not just highest reviewed games, but they all say what they believe should be nominated. I think they send a ballot to all these reviewers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
nominate.
Either way, it's the top 30 game reviewers.
That makes sense. Well, anyway, let's then move on to the next category, which is kind of in the same vein as art direction and score and music, and this one is Best Audio Design. The nominations for this game, or for this category, are Breath of the Wild, again, Super Mario Odyssey, again, Destiny 2, again, Resident Evil 7, and Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. Debate.
Now, that one I had never heard of, Hellblade. I
Me neither.
It's an indie game, I believe.
Oh, really? Yeah, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, once again, this is another category for me where it's just between Breath of the Wild or Odyssey because I haven't played the other three. So
Yeah.
I feel kind of bad about that, but whatever. Between the two, for Best Audio Design, so meaning not music, right?
Right.
So,
right. Like sound effects and atmosphere. I think that's kind of what they're going for there.
I think so.
I think I will go with Mario Odyssey just because the voice acting in Breath of the Wild is not that phenomenal. It's not Academy Award winning.
Good point. Dang it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. There are so many little sound details inside that game, and the voice acting, and it's so hard to have to pick between two of my favorite games. You know, like they're just so good. I think I chose Breath of the Wild simply because they used a lot of their audio design in the ambience of the world. Like there isn't a whole lot of music out in Hyrule itself. And so I thought that stood out more to me simply because they use a lot more sound effects to
And did
give
the
you this
sound effects
atmosphere.
It's
What?
not that it had more sound effects. It's that you enjoyed how the sound effects immersed you into this world,
Exactly. So
which
I think
I can see.
I think that's why I gave it to Breath of the Wild, because, Mario Odyssey, the sound effects are on top of the awesome music and the awesome gameplay and all that stuff. But in Breath of the Wild, they were so isolated that I focused on them more. And so I thought that it needed the better audio design to keep me immersed in the game.
Yeah,
So-
I think for the same reasons I give it to Breath of the Wild. Again, not because Mario Odyssey was bad at all, but Zelda was just a little more important, and it like David said, it really immersed you into the game.
Skylar, did you give us which one you would pick?
Yeah, gave it to Odyssey
that's right.
because it made me feel like a child again. So, every sound in that game was spot on, hit me with nostalgia, immersed me. Absolutely loved it. They were all familiar but new.
Yeah.
Love the audio design in that game.
All right, well then let's move on to the next category. This is best mobile game. So this is for iPhone and Android and such. This is not handheld title like for 3DS. The nominations for this category are Fire Emblem Heroes, Super Mario Run, Old Man's Journey, Monument Valley 2, and Hidden Folks. I've only
Heroes.
Again,
yeah.
I've only played the first two.
I played Monument Valley 1. I should play 2, but yeah, I've only played those first 2 games.
To this day, Fire Emblem Heroes is the only app out of any of these that I still open up regularly. So
I'm going to say Super Mario Run because that was the one I had fun playing.
Well, you should probably pick the one you have fun playing. I mean, come on.
that's true.
Yeah, that's
I did. Fire Emblem Heroes just felt like a grind, and it was just an addiction. It wasn't really a game to me.
It's still an addiction.
I mean, between the two, it's the one I open more, but that's because it's designed to be like crack. It's not designed to be fun.
Yeah. True. That's the pay-to-play strategy.
Well, I haven't given them any money, and I never will. I don't even play it anymore. I just open it to get my free summon and then close it. If there's no free summon, I have no point in opening it.
Well,
Yeah, I haven't touched Fire Emblem Heroes since the first month it came out. I erased it pretty fast. My poor phone can't really handle much of anything right now. So
Oh no.
I did play through a bit of Super Mario Run only through the demo, so I did have a lot of fun playing that demo, but I don't think I can really give an official choice from me. So
I had $10 left over from some gift card lying around, and I don't even use Apple products. I was like, sure, this is a good enough reason to throw my gift card at, and so I got the full game, and it was fun. It was enjoyable. I think the first 3 levels were really bad. I don't know.
yeah,
Representation of the game.
maybe I should buy it. We'll see.
No, don't.
All right,
It's
I
a mobile
won't.
game. Don't waste your time and money.
All right. Well, in the same vein of mobile games, we have handheld games.
Oh, okay. Now this one I can talk about.
Yeah, we can
So
talk about
this-
this one.
Earlier, I was saying that there was a Nintendo Pity Award. This is it.
Yeah.
There is nothing that is allowed to compete in this category but Nintendo.
well,
Yeah.
Monster Hunter's there.
Yeah, well, sure, there could be other games, companies other than Nintendo, but they should have just did the best 3DS game
Yeah.
as a category. There is
Right.
no other handheld on the market.
Yeah, Vita,
Yeah.
whatever what that was, died. So
And this is next year they're going to have to get rid of this award because there's no. So this is 3DS's last year, probably.
unless they count Switch. So
Clearly they don't. Clearly they see that Switch is a console system.
it's
I don't know.
both.
Anyway, the nominees for this category are Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, Monster Hunter Stories, Metroid Samus Returns, Ever Oasis, and Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia. I think it's between Metroid and Fire Emblem, honestly.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
every Nintendo fan would say that.
And I would pick Metroid simply because I tried playing through Shadows of Valentia and then I got bored. I'm so sorry. I didn't ever finish it. I'm actually only in the middle of the first chapter and I stopped playing it for other games. I know. I'm
It's
so
the
terrible.
First good Fire Emblem game in years.
I know. I'm going to
It's
finish
so
it. I
good.
promise. There have been so many other things that I've had to do this year, but I love Metroid Samus Returns. That's my pick. Anyway, that's me.
I would absolutely give it to Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia. The voice acting is spot on. Great remake. Tons of fun. You can play it how you want to. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I think between the two,
Go ahead.
I absolutely love Metroid: Samus Returns. However, I do remember having more issues with it than I did with Shadows of Valentia, and I think I'm going to have to give it to Shadows of Valentia this go around. Shadows of Valentia was just, it's everything I want from Fire Emblem. I want Fire Emblem to return to, like, I don't know.
Good stories, less waifus.
Yeah, no more waifus.
More varied gameplay.
Yeah, and making it more difficult. And I love the map system, just everything about Shadows of Valentia. Just it feels fresh and good, and how I want a Fire Emblem game to run. Whereas Samus Returns, it's fun. It's nice to have a return for Samus, but the core feeling of Metroid is missing in it for me. Where it's too linear for me.
I can understand that.
But it does have the best boss in the Metroid series, so maybe if we were to have like a best boss category, Metroid Samus Return wins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Freaking
So
Digger Knot.
I got to play
Digger
Monster
Knot's
Hunter Stories, although I didn't finish it. I really like that game, and I'm glad that it's getting the recognition it deserves. But it didn't beat Metroid and Fire Emblem Echoes. And I haven't played Ever Oasis. Unfortunately, that's another game that kind of just got pushed to the side for me. But I'm glad it has some recognition. I maybe I'll pick it up when there's some free time. Maybe next year. But so of the two, I love Metroid: Samus Returns, and I loved Fire Emblem Echoes: Shadow of Valentia. When I reviewed Fire Emblem Echoes, I thought that this is the best Fire Emblem game I've played. It's my favorite. And then Metroid: Samus Returns comes along, and I was like, oh my goodness, maybe this is a better 3DS game than Fire Emblem Echoes. And after thinking about it a while, I think I just had to get to Fire Emblem Echoes. Not because I didn't think it was a Metroid game. Samus Returns wasn't a Metroid game, but I just liked a lot more what Echoes did and brought back to the Fire Emblem series. And that I just can't beat that voice acting. That voice acting was so good. Like, I just can't. I think it's probably the best voice acting in any video game like I can think of.
I don't know about that one. I can name a few.
Oh, go ahead. Name a few. Last of Us? Nah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
that's
you don't think Last of Us? Yeah.
That's a different kind of. I guess that's a different kind of voice acting then. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm about to
Now that I think
review This Is the Police, and that has some phenomenal voice acting.
Really?
Just like small games. Nintendo games generally don't have that good of voice acting, but out and about, it's picking up speed around the place.
That's good.
It's fair.
Yeah. So I give it to Echoes.
Yeah, I think that'll win. But yeah, go ahead.
I want to also add in what Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia does for its series. I enjoy that more than what Metroid Samus Returns does for its series. Samus Returns, it's great because it's a sign that Metroid is back. Fire Emblem is actually pushing the envelope forward.
Yeah, that's fair. You mentioned that you think Fire Emblem will win. I don't know. Maybe it depends on how much the weebs go out and vote. I'm just
the weebs don't even like it. There's no waifus.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I forgot.
It's the real fans.
Then I guess Metroid's going to
win.
I feel like Metroid can easily win just because everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's Metroid's return. Oh gosh, Samus's return from video game death or whatever. And, I mean, she did. It's a great game, and if it wins, it totally deserves it. But I think it will win, actually.
I think all of the Western media outlets are going to vote for Metroid, and all the Japanese media outlets are going to vote for Fire Emblem.
Oh, yeah.
And there's going to be more Western media outlets than Japanese media outlets.
Oh, darn. So. Well, we are a bit larger, I'd say, than Japan.
Yeah, because that's including like America, Europe, Mexico. And
Yeah. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. Hey everybody, it's your friend David just hopping in the middle of the episode as per usual. I just wanted to stop and say thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Virtual Boys podcast. We really do appreciate everything that you guys do for us. If you want to help support the show, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Nintensity. I know we bring this up all the time, but as a reward, those that support us can get access to these episodes a few days earlier than everybody else. You'll also be able to participate on our Discord server, which you can get to by going to ninten.city/Discord. You'll have a special Patreon role. There's a special chat in there just for patrons, and you'll be able to help shape the future of the website and the show. So please consider supporting us. Again, that's patreon.com/Nintensity. We'd also like to ask you to check out our social media presence on Facebook and Twitter. You can find us at Nintensity or on Twitter at virtual_boys if you want to just follow the show updates. We've been working pretty hard to continue our presence there, so please be sure to give us a follow or like, depending on the platform that you use. All of our news articles and opinions and reviews go up on those social media accounts, so you'll be sure to stay in the loop that way. I don't really have anything else to say this week, so thank you so much again for listening to this episode. We really had a fun time talking about and discussing these various video games for the Game Awards and reviewing some of these games, so please enjoy the rest of this episode, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks! Now, we have quite a few more things that we need to talk about, so let's kind of just push through these last few categories. I think we've had some good discussion on basically the ones that will take some of these.
I don't know if we can push through this next one.
This next one? Well, this next one's going to have to go into like Game of the Year, basically, because this one is Best Action and Adventure, and it's got Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn, again, Jordan, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Uncharted The Lost Legacy. So,
Dan, no.
Man. I did not pick up Lost Legacy because it looked bad. It looked so bad.
I've heard good things about Assassin's Creed. At least
I have heard the good things about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, all I see is 9 out of 10 on the reviews. So, I mean...
Yeah.
It's not a 10 out of 10, you're
talk
right.
about the 10s. So.
Yeah, so Breath of the Wild and Odyssey. It's really hard. It's really hard. We'll come back to that because it's probably going to come down to some of the same ideas for Game of the Year. Okay, so let's move on to Best Fighting Game. The nominations are ARMS, that's not going to win, Tekken 7, Nidhogg 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and Injustice 2. I've only played ARMS, and it's not going to win.
It's not against really rough competition.
No, not really.
If it's the year for ARMS to win, this is the year.
Yeah.
Last year.
I voted for ARMS.
I did too, honestly.
Who bought Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite?
I didn't even know Tekken 7 came out.
Oh, it came out.
Oh, man. Infinite looked so bad.
Yeah.
ARMS is the freshest take on a fighting game this year.
Yeah.
So maybe Nidhogg.
Maybe.
Because Nidhogg did do some new stuff. But ARMS is a more fleshed out game.
Also, keep in mind, the fighting genre is pretty niche to begin with, and ARMS probably reaches out more than these other games do, aside from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we'll see ARMS win. Maybe.
That'd be an upset.
I could see it.
Yeah. So
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Tune in December 7th.
This is also the same awards that gave the... What was it? What was last year? Was it Street Fighter V?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Street Fighter V won last year.
So, I don't know. You never know with this sort of stuff.
Tune in December 7th to find out next time. The next category is Best Family Game. This is nominated for Odyssey, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and Sonic Mania.
I've played all these.
Sonic Mania!
For Best Family
Game?
This is a dumb category.
It is a dumb category.
It really is.
Just for
baby
Mario
category.
Kart 8 is the only one you can actually play with
Mario Kart
families.
8 came out not even last year. It's so old.
But it's deluxe version. It came out.
So if a company gives out a Game of the Year edition every year, do they always win Game of the Year?
They've done it before. I could see it. But no, seriously though, Splatoon 2, everybody has to have their own console.
Yeah, I don't
Super
think
Mario Odyssey is a 1-player to 2-player game. Mario Rabbids is a 2-player game.
I just realized
Sonic Mania is a 2-player game. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the only one where you can play with a huge group of people in a room.
as a family.
As a family, yeah.
I don't think that's what they mean, though.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
what they mean is
like family friendly.
With Jordan. Yeah.
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 I noticed. I just really just barely noticed this, but this is another Nintendo Pity Award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sega.
And Sega.
They're basically Nintendo.
No, they're not. Don't even lump Sonic Forces with Nintendo this year. How dare you?
Oh man, that's the real one that should win this. Sonic Farces.
No, Sega. No.
Just because I want to see more love for Kingdom's Battle, I'm going to go with Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Honestly, I would think as a kid I'd have a lot of fun with it. I think.
Oddly, yeah.
I think the award should still go to Odyssey.
Fair enough.
It's also the game that's most accessible to younger children out of all these. With
That's
the
true.
super duper easy mode. While we like to make fun of that, I have had a lot of friends say that, yeah, it works great for my toddler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
I've
lot
heard
of people
that
have talked
before,
about how it's great playing with, like, you know, your wife or significant other that has never really played any video games. They can play as Cappy and whatnot. You still have the ability to, like, control Cappy most of the time, but then they can, like, go around and hit enemies and stuff. So
And mess with you.
yeah, and mess with you, murder you. Actually, there's a glitch that can kill Mario permanently. You have to reset the game. Anyway, you'll have to look that one up.
Though, that if Mario Kart 8 had actually come out this year instead of this being an ancient relic that they dug up to round out a nomination, that it probably should have gone to that, because Mario Kart is family fun for everyone and everyone can just enjoy it.
I mean,
it's accessible to everyone.
It's not a bad choice.
Of the other 4 games, Mario Odyssey is the most accessible game for the whole family to play.
Yeah.
So otherwise, Sonic Mania, baby.
Yeah, that's more for the retro fans.
Yeah,
Best retro game.
It works for my family of me.
I'm family of one.
Cool. So that, yeah. The next category, then, just kind of chugging along since we've actually taken quite a while to get through this. I wasn't expecting us to take so much. The next category is Best Strategy Game, and the nominees are Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, XCOM 2, War of the Chosen.
We haven't played.
Yeah, so that's the one that we're going to give it to. Done.
Mario Rabbids,
Yeah,
okay.
I gave it to Mario Rabbids. It was fun.
Go listen to that episode.
It
It's
deserves
in the 60s.
I think it's hilarious, though, that Mario and Rabbids are competing against XCOM.
That is pretty freaking hilarious. No joke.
It'd be great if they won. Sorry, XCOM, but Mario and Rabbids is the better XCOM.
That'd be a huge slap in the face.
We made a better XCOM game than you. All right. So
There's no way. There's no way Rabbids can beat XCOM.
One punch in the stomach.
No, the fan base.
I don't know why Halo Wars is on here, though. That whatever. Maybe they improved it.
Maybe. The next category is Best Multiplayer. The nominations are Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Destiny 2, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, Fortnite, and Call of Duty World War II.
I think we all know this is going to Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
It should not be nominated. The game isn't out yet. It's greenlit.
Yeah,
But anyway.
I agree. So that I think that kind of does it.
Also, why is Mario Kart 8 here again? What the crap, guys?
Because it's Mario Kart.
Well, if you have
It's
in one
Mario Kart.
category, it has to be in the other, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I voted for
right.
Splatoon 2 on this one.
I did
think it
too,
was
actually.
a lot of fun.
Just to give them like a little bit of a pat on the back, you know? Be like,
Yeah,
you got this,
I've
Nintendo.
only played 2 of these games. If we're going off what we played, I'm just going to give it a Splatoon 2.
Cool.
I could see Destiny 2 upsetting Players Unknown just because it's super popular.
Yeah, and it is very multiplayer focused with the clans and stuff.
But-
So
Right.
This one's going to Players Unknown, even though it shouldn't. Unless if everyone in the world realizes how stupid it is that it's been nominated because the game's not out yet.
yeah. Well, and then that takes us to the final category, which is Game of the Year, which the nominations are for Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Persona 5. Again, like Jordan said with Best Multiplayer, I don't think that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds should be here, but it is.
Neither should Horizon Zero Dawn because it's garbage.
Yeah. So basically, this one is Nintendo's to lose. Like, if people don't pick Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, unfortunately,
I don't know,
Nintendo's gonna lose.
But Persona 5, but then again, it
Right.
is.
Persona 5 is great, but it's too niche. There's
That's
no
right.
way.
You're right. Too niche.
Yeah.
Like that is.
There
I
would be
agree.
riots in the gaming streets if if it didn't go to Horizon Zero Dawn, Breath of the Wild, or Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though Horizon Zero Dawn shouldn't be on that list.
Yeah. So we have talked quite a bit about Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey with some of the other categories. It's so hard for me to pick, honestly, but I had to go with my gut, and I chose Breath of the Wild, and I'll say it's simply I would have been more excited for Breath of the Wild, and it satisfied so many of the things that I was looking forward to about the game. I don't even really know how else to put it into words. I think that it deserves Game of the Year. That's my opinion, and I totally understand if any of you out there pick Super Mario Odyssey. It is also a phenomenal game, but as for me and my house of one person, I pick Breath of the Wild.
What about action adventure? Same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm kind of actually split. I don't, as an action adventure game, I think Breath of the Wild captures action adventure more than Mario does, but I think Mario Odyssey is the better game overall. So I would actually split those two.
That makes sense.
And mostly the reason for that is I got everything I wanted out of Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
I didn't get everything I wanted out of Breath of the Wild, namely dungeons. Breath of the Wild, it's a great concept. I believe that they nailed a really good concept. I'm really excited for what they have for the future, but I don't think all the ideas were fully fleshed out. We didn't get dungeons. The side questing was kind of and there was a lot of really open areas that should have been more filled in. It's great. I mean, we're comparing two 10 out of 10 games in my mind.
Right.
But Mario Odyssey is just so jam-packed with content, and the content is always diverse. It's always changing gears and trying to find new things. As soon as and even though it's moving through ideas super fast, it feels like it fully fleshes out all those ideas before it moves on completely. Whereas Breath of the Wild, it's great. I love it. One of the best Zelda games ever made. One of the best games ever made. I need dungeons. I need bosses. I need more cities and people and side quests going on. I needed more out of Breath of the Wild.
Which is surprising,
totally-
actually, because
totally
of how many
understand
hours we've all put into it. But anyway.
Yeah, I echo George's what George said. What Jordan said. Yeah.
So have you decided yours yet, James?
No. Action adventure, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Breath of the Wild, just merely because it fits the more action adventure kind of platform. Honestly, I think they put Super Mario Odyssey here because they couldn't have a 3D platforming section. I mean,
Yeah.
it is an adventure.
Yeah, because who's it going to lose to? Ukulele? Sorry.
Hat in
Anyway.
Time.
Hat in Time.
Hat in Time.
I guess
true.
if there was a year,
If it wasn't 3D platformer, it was just platformer, then you also get to throw in Cuphead and Sonic Mania into there too.
that
Oh,
actually
yeah.
would have been bad, and Super Mario Odyssey would have won.
Maybe that's what they'll replace the handheld category with, is platformer category.
I don't know. We'll see.
Anyway, go ahead, James. Keep going.
But I put action adventure there just because of obviously the action and the adventure. That was redundant. But the puzzle solving as well. Of course, there was puzzles in Odyssey too. Anyway, but Game of the Year, of these two, I'm so indecisive. I just can't. It's like picking my favorite child, and then telling the other child to go die in a corner. No, I know that's not the same thing, but
Wow, you're of your two favorite children, huh?
yeah, I know.
They just slightly weren't there.
You saw you weren't there, kid. Go cry to mommy. Maybe she'll love you. But
Your mom don't let you.
no, it's hard. There's a lot of feelings I had in both. They both filled everything or met my expectations. The story in Breath of the Wild, like I said before, wasn't the best, but it was okay. Mario Odyssey's story was fun and interesting, but it wasn't mind-blowing. So I can't say anything there. And gameplay-wise, they both do things so differently that I don't know. Like, it's so hard for me to choose. I don't know. I really don't know, guys. I think I'm going to have to hold off on this one and wait until December when I have more time to think. And at that point, I'll have another game in the running. Who knows?
What? No, didn't you know that December's part of 2018? That's what I've learned from this.
Oh, really?
Video Game Awards have taught me that December's part of 2018.
But I guess we just forget about all December games.
New Year's Eve is the same day as Black Friday, so get ready.
Get ready. Yeah, well, actually, you make a good point. It's how it's gone this year or lately. But yeah, I can't say. I don't want to say yet. Sorry, I know this is really uncool of me, but I can't.
No, that's totally fine. It's totally fine. You have a few more days before you have to make up your mind, so it's all good. Before you have to cast your vote.
I probably won't cast my vote. But
oh no!
I don't think I'm going to vote either. I think this whole process. I think this specific Game Awards show is really stupid. That's just me. If you want to hear my rant, go to last year's episode where I
definitely ranted.
Very much so. It was good though.
All those points still stand. I think. Just look at these categories. We even skipped the most exciting categories, like Best Esport, where not a single 2017 game was nominated, or Best Game for Service, where, man, they should have waited for Battlefront 2 because that would have serviced all of them. So, man, I hate these.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because my competitive side, but I kind of like to see them all come together or not all come, but I like to see there be a sort of award show, kind of like the Oscars and how
to see the battle to the death.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I would love an Academy Award style award show as well, but they need to fix the categories. There shouldn't be categories based on genres. That's dumb, especially since you're missing like large genres that were popular for that specific year. Like
platforming.
Yeah, platforming was big this year. Maybe it wasn't big in previous years, but this year
I think it's hard. I know. I understand, but it's also hard to make a different kind of categories because, for example, game of the year, or maybe let's say action adventure. You know, Mario Odyssey's gameplay and Breath of the Wild's gameplay are totally two different things. I don't know. Maybe that's not a great argument.
How many of these awards are based around writing in video games?
Oh, writing. Well, I think only one.
Writing specifically, not best RPG, but best writing.
Yeah, I think there's only one that says best narrative.
Yeah, well, they have one where it's like it has a thoughtful ending, like message or whatever, and it's like whatever.
A thoughtful ending message.
I don't know, but best script design, best like plot and everything, and all that stuff. Like the Academy Awards is able to like really dig deep into. It's not just best sound. There's like 10 different ways that they describe specific sound and have different awards for each of those.
That is very true.
And same with acting and cinematography and writing. And this one just kind of glosses over it and just turns it all into layman's terms and then just like go, oh, what's the most marketable word? Which game was the most marketable?
No, that makes sense. That's a good point, actually. It's a good point.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's disrespectful for what I want out of something like this. But
yeah,
that's just me.
I understand.
Maybe they'll get better in the future. Although I think they're going to just kind of like, yeah, this works. Let's just do this. So
well, they can't fix this until they finally get rid of the stupid award of most hyped game. What the crap? Like that is everything wrong with this whole award show.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, that is That is not a good
And
idea.
then this is an entire award show supposed to be about celebrating the last year in video games. And then they advertise it with, we're going to show so many games. It's going to be bigger than E3.
I don't mind that,
Why are you showing all these new games? Like, let's celebrate. Maybe show trailers to the games that were nominated, and let's give more recognition to honorable mentions and games that were nominated and the winners and all that stuff, and talk about experiences of these games. Make it an actual, like, recap of the year and a celebration of the industry.
Okay.
Not a giant marketing tool.
That's fair. That's fair. I do like seeing game trailers, though.
Oh, sure. But we're going to get, like, the Nintendo Direct a month later anyways. So.
Yeah, good point. You know,
Yeah.
might as well just wait.
And Sony has their big giant press conference the same week. So I don't understand why we need to have this. The only people that really care are people that make Xbox games, which is no one. So
Well, anyway, we should probably move away from Game of the Year. We'll probably talk about it once they actually happen and see if we actually agree with some of the stuff. So
Yeah, that'd be
thanks for
fun.
listening to that part of our podcast episode. Now we have to go into what we've played this week, and we've already taken almost an hour on this episode, so maybe we'll keep things a little bit short on this end and maybe send you all to our website at nintensity.com.
Now we gotta talk about the reviews, though. The Skyrim.
We will.
And
We will,
like
of course. I'm just saying, like if you want to hear even more thoughts about it or read more thoughts, check out our website at nintensity.com and you can find the full reviews for these games over there. I'll go ahead and start with what I've been playing. I've just done some more Splatoon 2 and I 100%ed Odyssey over the weekend. Not a whole lot to report. It's been a roller coaster of a week, so that's what I've got.
Yeah. You hard worker, you. Let me tell you.
Yeah, all right, Skylar, you're up. Let's do this.
So I don't know if any of you heard of this game called Skyrim. It's first time ever a Nintendo console.
Wait, is that like
this-
Skyward Sword?
No, it's different. It's not
Oh.
Zelda. It's like you dive into dungeons, but you could do anything. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
So it's a Breath of the Wild clone.
Yeah, basically. No, it's this new game. No, Skyrim is coming out for Switch tomorrow, as of this recording. We got a review code from Bethesda for this game. I'd like to report it runs really well on the Switch. Very few hiccups. Game crashed on me only 3 times, as opposed to like 15 or to 20 on the 360. So that's pretty great. Same dungeon delving, plenty of side missions. George was talking earlier about side missions in Zelda. They could take a page from Skyrim and kind of improve the side quest system in Zelda a little bit better that way. Skyrim does a really good job with that. I love exploring all the places. Very sci-fi, fantasy, adventure. I love it. Not sci-fi, sorry, just fantasy. Yeah, you can also play as Link. So, that's pretty nice.
Wait, so this
You
is
tap your
Skyward Sword.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or Breath of the
They
Wild.
got him in the game. They put Link into Skyrim. Yeah. He moved from Hyrule. He got sick of saving a princess and fighting Ganon and moved to Skyrim.
I just want to kill dragons.
I just want to kill some dragons. Which and I love how customizable Skyrim is. All the buttons are mappable. You can use motion controls. They work all right. I prefer not to use them, but there's a personal preference. They do work well, so that's nice. So yeah, get your Link amiibos and go plunder in Skyrim.
Nice.
So how well did it run on the Switch?
It runs 30 FPS, 720p, in docked and handheld mode, and it doesn't lag. The screen doesn't jitter like it does on the 360. Everything worked perfectly fine. There's just a couple weird bugs, like when you talk to somebody, they poof outside of the establishment after you when you're not done talking to them, after they're not done saying something. They just follow you outside. And you're like, dude, what are you doing out here? You're the shopkeeper. Get back behind your desk. Which is kind of funny. They also, occasionally, when you kill enemies, they shoot their upper body through the floor, and so their legs kind of like dangle out, which is kind of funny. It happened a couple times. I have pictures. It's pretty great.
Oh, good.
Floating maces are a thing. So, character model problems.
Do dragons fly backwards?
No, they don't.
Not as good as the 360 version.
So, they have fixed a lot since then, and the graphics are a lot better than the 360, which is great.
So that's good because this is a handheld version. So if you really like Skyrim, if you enjoyed it on the 360, it runs better on the Switch, and then you can take it on the go.
Yeah, taking it on a go was awesome. I took it to the aquarium. I took it to a few different places. I went to the aquarium, brought Skyrim. It was great. I was hunting monsters inside a dungeon. I mean, that's full of monsters. It was a lot of fun. Good game. If you've never played Skyrim, pick it up for Switch. It's portable. Why not? A fantastic game. The next game I got was Octodad, Dadliest Catch, which was a review code given by Young Horses, Inc. I always was curious about the game. Fighting the controls seemed like an interesting idea. The game does control terribly, but that's the point. It's a lot of fun to play with other people in the room. My brother was watching. He's like, "This doesn't look fun at all." As I destroy a room trying to make a cup of coffee. It was a lot of fun. It looks stupid, but it's stupid fun. So good job, guys. You control an octopus that acts like a man. That's great.
The story is just kind of, I don't know. There's something hilariously creepy about it that it's charming. Charming's the wrong word. That's the wrong word.
I don't know how they have two kids and an octopus and a woman.
Ah, man. So many questions.
They touch on this, and they simply laugh it off.
How does she not know? How does she not know?
I don't know, but she apparently likes it, so whatever.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
No, I was going to say a really bad joke, so we'll just
Then I finished Doom. It's been a real Bethesda week. You can listen to our podcast last week where George talked about it in immense detail.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that, or are you just going to mirror what I said?
The audio glitches are real, but only in the first time you go to hell and the stage after it. I didn't really experience it besides then, but they are there. But anyway, for what it runs on the Switch, it's great. Having it portable again, great. Wonderful game.
Well, there you go.
Then I finished Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Hopefully the review goes up for this one in a few days as well. Much like last week, it's utter fan service for Dragon Ball fans. If you love Dragon Ball, if you want to always play next to the characters in the series, go ahead, check it out. Great game.
Nice.
The fighting could be improved, but other than that, it's fine.
I played. I got a game. I got a game. And, well, actually, game is maybe not the right word. Because I put on my overalls and my straw hat, and I picked up a thing of wheat and put it in my mouth. You know how the farmer does it. And I picked up my Switch and played Farming Simulator. Started my own farm out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, but plenty of other farmers, I guess. So the Farmer Simulator is, it's really more of a game. No. It's really more of a chore than anything else. I go everywhere, and everyone wants me to do something, and they'll pay me big bucks, and that's great and all. But there really isn't a fast forward button, and we're talking acres of land here, and you gotta harvest all this wheat and grain and all that kind of stuff. It's not a fast process, and I know what it's like to be a farmer now. I feel like I just go on to the outskirts of Idaho and just buy my farm, and I'm pretty much set for life. Man. But the thing is, I'm not a farmer. Like, I really don't. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like you got to understand how to farm in order to play this game, and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, all I know is there's some people who want me
simulator.
What's that?
It's that much of a simulator. You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I tell you, like, it's so interesting that this is a game. Like people want to buy this and play it. I'm just like, man, if I want to do this, I go out and move. I go out and move to the country, you know. Like, anyway,
does it progress in real time, like real life?
You can
like
change how how fast the time goes. But right now, I have it at a speed that's fairly slow. So, I mean, yeah.
Gotta wait a few weeks for your corn to grow.
I honestly, I'm still in the first day of the campaign. I spend a little time going through the tutorials, and as soon as I got into the tutorial, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's like, well, go ahead and put on this and this onto your tractor, and then get on going. What? Like, apparently, you have to put a weight. Apparently, you put a weight in front of the tractor. What the heck? Why do I have to put a weight on the front of the tractor? Is the tractor going to tip over or something? Like, I don't know. And it doesn't. Like, I when I first played the tutorial, I just kind of moved over the weight, didn't know what it was. I was like, what is this thing in my way? Is this an obstacle? Is this gameplay? But no, it's a weight that you attach to the front of the tractor. It's like, okay, I guess we're doing the game thing. I still got a pass, by the way, so it's not too strict. And there's different levels of difficulty. I'm obviously on the easy because the hard is like your crops will wilt if you don't do anything about it. It's like, nope, I'm not going to the real world. So
I would like to be successful. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to have fun. Although I gotta say, fun is maybe not the right word. No, this game is great at what it does, but it's not anything else. Like it literally it's a farming simulator. Every single thing you would have about a farm, it's there for the most part. I mean, you don't have like a crazy wife asking you to go milk the cows every morning or anything like that, but which I think they could have. And that's another thing. There's no story in this. I mean, it's a simulator. I know you're not going to have like a riveting story, but I don't know. I feel like maybe we've been spoiled with Harvest Moon and Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, where we have these, kind of storyish campaigns, but that's not the focus of this game, and I understand that, and perhaps it just shows that I'm not the audience for this. So someone who just wants to farm all day, every day, and not have to worry about the travesties of city life, they can go ahead and pick this up and really enjoy them crops.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, so I picked up This Is the Police, which is actually a really, really cool game that acts kind of more like a graphical or a visual novel in a sense. Really, really, really good story, really good voice overs, and like the sound really makes for what is going on in the story, because there's really not any animation going on. It plays out kind of like a comic book and still images, and then the voice acting of the characters sort of like not really described, but you get a good picture of what's going on through how like the sound of the effects around them are going and all that stuff and how they speak. And it's really cool. It's about a really corrupt cop who's in it with the mafia.
Ooh.
And he's maintaining a police force over like the entire city. And he's being forced to be retired by the city because the mayor is really corrupt and wants to hire his nephew and all sorts of stuff. And there's the whole game, you're constantly building this giant house of cards that you're just trying to prevent from collapsing, as all these different parties that all are attacking each other and trying to like play these political mind games with each other to try and weaken each other so that your house of cards don't fall down. And so the actual game part is kind of iffy. It's a strategy game where you maintain your police force, send them off to do tasks. Sometimes you'll get requests from the mafia to do something, and you can choose if you want to help the mafia or not choose to help the mafia. City Hall will give you tasks and all that stuff. And it gives you a lot of really meaningful choices where some of your characters can die, or you'll lose favor with other factions and all stuff. And that's all really great. The problem is the game is really long.
Whoa.
Way longer than it should be. It becomes a grind because every day it starts to feel really repetitive because your process of running through each day is really similar to the previous day. And after 11 hours of it, you just kind of want to... You get sick of police work. And a lot of people online have been saying, yeah, but that's kind of the point, right? You should... The whole point of police work is that it's boring. And it's like, well, I kind of want more out of my game, but I'm trying to push through. The story is absolutely brilliant. Whoever wrote this is a really good writer. And so that's the most entertaining part. Just trying to find out what happens going forward with this really corrupt 60-year-old cop.
It sounds like a really fun game. I mean, I was definitely interested when I saw that come through. It was provided by THQ Nordic for the review.
Oh, that was THQ Nordic?
Cool. Yeah.
Wow. I did not know.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's not really an indie game, I guess you could say, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't finished it yet. I'm still
right.
trying
That's
to get
what I
through
mean.
it. And oh man, it opens up this phenomenal introduction that's fully animated and everything. And I really wish they kept that animation style throughout the whole game, as opposed to the comic book layout. But the comic book layout still works. For the most part, it runs really well. There's some parts where it'll jitter, and I don't know why it'll freeze or anything. And then there's the controls while doing investigation work it's a complete incoherent mess, but you only spend 1% of your time doing investigation work. So whatever. It's a good game. It's fun. I don't think it's for everyone though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely
it is rated.
It's definitely the same for Farming Simulator, let me tell you.
Yeah, this is the police is rated M. So if you don't do M-rated games, then it's definitely not for you.
It's definitely rated M. The subject material is not for children.
Well, cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. That'll do it for us this week, folks. But before we end this episode, I would just like to thank you for listening and joining us in this episode. Your support means a ton.
And guess what? I want to shout out to Skylar. I promised myself I wouldn't get emotional. He means so much to this podcast with this music. Go to his SoundCloud. Skytar with a 5. Do it.
And I'd like to shout out to our patrons, Chris and Chase and Ratmvp. Your support means a ton. If you want to join them, go to patreon.com/Nintendo. Remember, the episodes go up early as a reward for those that support us.
And I'd like to invite you to join our Discord community. We're trying to set up a fun place for people to visit and hang out. Head to nintendo.city/Discord to join us today. Had some interesting conversations about Mario Party and how crappy it was. Anyway,
that was pretty great, actually.
And lots of discussion about the EA Battlefront 2 crap.
Yep. Yeah.
Where's
you should
Award?
Come join. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the Virtual Boys podcast this week. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes. It'll only just take a minute, and it would mean a ton. We'd also remind you to check out our website at nintendcity.com, where you can find news, show notes to these episodes, and so much more. This week's show notes are available at nintendo.city/EP76. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, you good people.